How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing well. It's mid-March. I harvested some fresh wild garlic. It's only emerging here in Europe. Wild garlic or bear garlic. Then I shredded some white cabbage. You can see my white cabbage. It's 3 heads of white cabbage. Then I sprinkled with sea salt and I added some cumin seeds, but that's optional. That's really optional. All your seasonings are optional. You see my white cabbage and some fresh wild garlic or ramps. Okay, then what I'm gonna do is I will ferment it all. This fermentation is the process that will be going on for the following 2-3 weeks, and then we can eat it. So stay tuned. Right, I wash my hands. Make sure that your hands are clean. I wash my wild garlic perfectly. I made sure there is nothing else, just wild garlic, no ivy in it, because it was growing where ivy was growing. It was all together. It was actually emerging from ivy ground, the type of ivy that is poisonous here. So it's just fresh wild garlic. I love when it's got long stems, but it didn't have as long as I wished. Still, I'm happy enough. These are 3 heads of cabbage, white cabbage, that I shredded roughly like 5 hours ago, salted. I just went with my hand, I just really sprinkled with sea salt, and then you can add your seasoning if you love cumin, caraway, or if you love ginger, powdered ginger you can use, or turmeric. It's up to you really. Okay, so whatever you love. Now you can chop your wild garlic, but you can use it in the whole way. What I really do is, actually I didn't get ready any scissors, so let me wash it first. What I usually do, I just cut it like this. You can chop it, you can cut it with your knife. You don't have to, you can leave it in the whole size as it is. As I said, I used 3 heads of cabbage, white cabbage, middle size or small size one. You can just lightly sprinkle with your sea salt or with the regular kitchen salt. I love using sea salt. Don't overdo with salt. Okay. And then I will try to kind of massage it, with clean hands, and the cabbage as well. So you see the cabbage, and can you see the juice? That's just juice that is coming from the cabbage, fresh cabbage, nothing else. That's not water, I didn't add any water. Okay, so it's juice from cabbage that I shredded roughly 5-6 hours ago, and then I let it sit here, and then I went to the woods. I came back with my wild garlic that I just washed. As I said, you can leave it in the whole way, or you can kind of chop it. I made sure there will be a lot of wild garlic. It's up to you. I don't measure the amount of wild weeds. If you add more, you will have it more with wild weeds. If you add more cabbage, you will have more cabbage. You can add cauliflower. You can fresh cauliflower. You can add carrots in it as well if you wish. This will all nicely ferment together. Okay, so that's the way how it looks now. Okay. Now I would love to show you my fermentation. I did 26th of February, which is just like 3 weeks ago. I have it here on my counter just by accident. It says cauliflower kraut, 26th of February in gingerbread. So You can use this kind of glass as well, and some fermentation equipment if you wish, or you can just cover it with your towel. Okay, you see. So this was fermenting for the past 3 weeks. It's in gingerbread. There is the whole head of cauliflower, some carrot, and that's all. That's really all. So that's what I'm now doing, but with the wild garlic, and I will use crock pot. Okay, let me massage it more. You see this whole mass of wild garlic and cabbage, white cabbage. This will ferment the following 2-3 weeks, and then it will be delicious, full of probiotics. Beautiful. Okay, stay tuned in. It looks like I'm doing laundry. I'm kind of doing my wild garlic crowd laundry. Yes, I am. But the reason why I want it release more juice, and then I can all press it in either in the glass jar, or I can press it in my crock pot that is already nice, clean, sterilized, ready for this action, ready for this wild garlic cabbage. As you can see, mostly is wild garlic, some white cabbage, not much really, to be honest. So it's really nice when wild garlic or rams are blooming and you can harvest few flowers, blooms, or even when it's in buds. When it's in buds before blooming, then you can harvest these buds and you can add them in this kind of fermentation food. Right, I think that's enough. Okay, I would love to show you the way how it looks now. Okay, let me wash my hands. We'll stop it for a second. Now my hands are clean, and let me show you my cabbage and wild garlic. So this is the way how it looks. You see the texture, and you see how juicy it is. I suppose you do. Okay. Now let me get ready crock pot that I already cleaned, washed and sterilized with kind of hot water inside, so it's all clean and ready. Right, okay, let me get ready my crock pot. Now this is my white cabbage and wild garlic ready. We pushed in my crock pot, and I let it ferment there for a couple of weeks. Even for half year or year, but I can bet it will be eaten within few weeks because it's really delicious. Right, so I'll start pressing it all inside my crock pot, little by little. There is nothing but fresh white cabbage, fresh leaves of wild garlic or rams, some sea salt, and I added some caraway seeds or cumin seeds. That's my habit. You can add the whole fresh apples, little apples, and it will be beautiful when it will be fermented within 3-4 weeks or even earlier. See the juice that is coming out of it? That juice from the cabbage, white cabbage. This is just very small crock pot, but our great grandparents, and now I keep pressing it there, our great parents used to have bigger crock pots that they used to walk in with their bare foot. Of course, they made sure that their feet were clean, so there was no molding going on them, but this was the way they used to keep walking. So it was quite interesting for kids watching it, and then they usually let kids walk in it, of course with really clean washed feet to avoid any moldness, so it could really last for ages. This was really staple fermented cabbage, full of vitamin C, full of probiotics. So okay, I made sure it's really pressed, and now I will add more and more of this wild garlic cabbage. So I will press it all inside. So I keep pressing it there, but I really feel that there is less wild garlic than white cabbage, so I just grabbed another wild garlic, fresh wild garlic, that I will wash and check if it's only wild garlic, and we'll add it in here, so it will be more interesting. So these are only pure wild garlic leaves, nothing else, all clean. You don't have to use scissors or a knife. I don't really, but sometimes I do use scissors. You can just cut it this way, and that's all. Oh, beautiful garlicky scent. Okay, now some little bit of sea salt. You see the amount of sea salt I'm using? Not more, that's all. That is really all. And we'll just add it in my cabbage. You see stems of this wild garlic? I'm leaving them here on purpose. They are delicious. They will be juicy in the way once they're fermented, really delicacy in the fermented wild garlic cabbage. So leave them there, don't chop them off, leave the whole lot. If I had buds, wild garlic buds, I would add them in, but I don't. So the whole part of wild garlic or ramp is amazing. Is delicious. You see that little bud that is already emerging? That will be delicious there as well. Just massage it perfectly so it's all blended together. This is my remaining part that I will try to add on the top of my whole cabbage, wild garlic cabbage. It's mostly wild garlic and it's really full of juice. Okay, so this is it, that's all. It's nearly at the top of the crock pot. I'm roughly in here now. What you can really do is, if you want to have your crock pot full, completely full, you can still add another part of cabbage tomorrow or within 2 days. It will just drop down within 2 days, and you can still add more if you wish. But you should really do it within few days, like 2-3 days. I shall see if I might add more. Now I'm trying to press it. Now once I'm pressing it, I can see that I came till this point. So, you know, you really need to press it perfectly so it will ferment really well. And let it ferment in the room temperature. In your room temperature, if you, well, I mean for 2-3 weeks definitely, and then you can move it out to the cooler in environment where the fermentation will slightly slow down. Normally I let it ferment for roughly like half year, sometimes for the whole year, because we make very popular, our traditional sauerkraut Christmas soup from fermented cabbage. So usually we open this crock pot at Christmas time, then during year, but in our family we are really used to eat this fermented different, not just cabbage but different veggies on quite like regular basis, on your bread, in your salad, in your pancake. I love eating it in my pancake. I like making pancake from oat milk or hemp seed milk, sunflower seed milk with spelt flour and other free range egg. So in the salty way we eat these pancakes. It's beautiful, it's delicious. You can eat your pancake with sauerkraut, with fermented cabbage, fermented veggies, or you can just eat it with cocoa, like our Linda, she loves eating it just with plain cocoa. Why not? There are no rules. Someone loves it with jam. I would say probably everyone loves it with jam. I really don't. I would really prefer fermented cabbage, raw cabbage with my pancake, and so on. Right, okay, let me show you how it looks now. Give me a second. Right, let me show you how it looks now, and give me a second. Okay, so this is my cabbage and wild garlic. Yes, Linda, I'm listening. Now, so you saw the way how it looks inside. I have some cabbage, remaining cabbage leaves here. Now, what we will do is, you can pass one cabbage, you wash your hands before, just washed clean cabbage head, and I will put it on the top of it. Another one, just remaining cabbage leaves. Okay, just pop them inside nicely. So you will cover the whole surface of this cabbage and wild garlic, right? Okay, so it's all in now. And what I do is, do you see, can you see there? Right, so this is the way how it should look. And the following 2-3 days, what I will do is I will keep opening my crock pot. I will just open it once a day, right? Morning or evening time, doesn't matter. And I will press it. I will make sure that it's pressed nicely. What you can still do is, you can find some jar. What I do is, I find some jar, fill it up with water so that it's heavy, that's all. Or usually I just use some canned jam that is nice, clean. I wash it, clean it, rinse it with hot water, and I place it inside. So it's kind of like weighted, you know? So there is something heavy on it. Pressing, working, something heavy. So this time I will try to find some jars that I will place there, but I will leave them there just for, I don't know, roughly 3-4 days, and then I will remove them, of course. As you can see, I keep pressing all the time, and I was doing it the whole video. You couldn't see it, that's why I kept stopping this video, because you would have to be watching me all the time, and it would be probably boring just seeing me how I keep pressing. This is actually, instead of the bare food that I told you that was in our tradition, that our old folk great-grandparents used to do, and that was much easier, that they use their own feet. I did one video in this kind of way, that I asked Linda, and she was actually walking in this crock pot. She was really small, and someone saw it, and someone was like, yuck, I can't stand watching it. And you know what I say? I can't stand watching someone else eating pesticides in their food, poison, injections in their meats, and stuff like that. You know, once this is your food, you don't mind. I mean, of course you will wash it, and of course you will not walk in this with your stinky food. Now, okay, this compote, probably sour cherry compote, and it looks like pear and blackberries compote. I washed it, I poured over with hot water, so this is really sterilized. It's 100 or it's 99.9 sterilized. Okay, not 100, because I just place it on this counter which is not sterilized. But dang it. Okay, and my cabbage leaves are on the top. I should probably show you. They're here on the top. I pressed it so many times as you could watch me. And I'm gonna now place a heavy compote on it, on the top of it. Use sterilized stones if you have, or ceramic heavy things that you have. And that's fantastic. I actually have them in the second glass where I'm fermenting cauliflower cabbage, that I have ceramic heavy stones in it on the tops, which is great because it keeps brine, it's pressing the whole veggies content under the brine. And here the idea of the heavy thing is to press that cabbage, keep pressing that cabbage. I still have the feeling I should add more cabbage leaves on the top, and I have the feeling I'm gonna get another cabbage head and I will run in my green jungle and I will probably harvest more wild garlic leaves. I'm adding another heavy glass jar in it. I think I could have 2-3 there inside. Right, okay, it's there now. And I'm gonna cover it with the lid. Okay, and voila. So lid is on. Please always label it, because you think now that, oh, I will remember that I started this fermentation 2 weeks ago, but with the time passing, you might very likely forget. So I just labeled 18th of March, 21st century. And you just pour water in here. Always make sure there is water around in here once you're using this crock pot, okay? And I will show you, I just added 3 heavy jars in here, but as I said, I will remove them within, probably I will remove them within 2, 3, 4 days. They can't stay there. I will probably replace them with some heavy stones that are sterilized, or with some heavy ceramic things roughly that I have in here. Can you see them here on the top of my fermentation? These are ceramic things, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do, and I will just make sure that it's really heavy, so it's working and it can ferment. I will close it, and now every day I will hear that it's kind of bubbling. I will hear that it's fermenting. That's the way how it should be really working. Okay, I hope that I helped you with this little video, so you can, this kind of way you can actually ferment any wild weeds, any wild plants, anything that comes from the nature. What I usually do, I harvest chickweed, plantain, garlic mustard, wild garlic, ramps. Well, I don't have ramps, but that's like wild garlic, burdock roots, stinging nettles. Actually, by the way, my very first stinging nettles that I'm drinking with violets, they were really emerging, really small ones emerging. They're packed with energy. It's like triple coffee. It will give you so much energy boost nettles. Okay, so you can add in even small apples, or you can add in artichokes, Jerusalem artichokes, whatever you wish. Turnips, you can shred it, not shred it, it will ferment. Just don't add any soft veggies like tomatoes, right? Because it's just for short ferment, just like for 3-4 days. I love fermenting dandelion burdock roots along with cabbage. All the bitterness will be gone within few days. It will be super medicinal, super tasty. Okay, cheers to our health. This is gonna be full of medicine and tasty stuff. So let your food be your medicine, and look after yourself, after your health. Cheers and bye.